The future of a Dubuque man sentenced to life in prison for a murder he committed back in 1991 as a teenager is still uncertain.
Today, a judge ruled that Sean Rhomberg may apply for parole, but Rhomberg and his attorney had hoped he could get off based on time served. CBS 2 News reporter MUGO ODIGWE here now to explain how the judge came to this ruling. MUGO.
Tiffany and Scott, this all goes back to 2012. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled that life in prison sentences for minors is cruel and unusual. Rhomberg and his attorney filed for resentencing, but things didn't go as they had hoped today. This was the scene back in 1991. Investigators found that 15-year-old Sean Rhomberg fatally stabbed 70-year-old Marion Carpentier in her Dubuque home. He was tried and convicted as an adult in 1992.
Since then, the U.S. Supreme Court has determined that we cannot automatically sentence a juvenile offender to life in prison with no possibility of parole.
Meaning those juveniles can ask for resentencing. So after 22 years in prison, Rhomberg's fate came down to two options.
The defendant has requested that he be sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 20 years. He's been in prison for approximately 22 years.
On the other hand, the state of Iowa asked for a sentence of life in prison with the possibility of parole after 35 years.
Mr. Rhomberg had completed not a single program in 22 years while at the prison. He also had two very dangerous and violent incidents which occurred, one of which he intentionally scalded his roommate, another one which he aided and abetted in an escape involving firearms.
Ultimately, the judge met the two sides in the middle.
I haven't determined at what point in time Mr. Rhomberg would be eligible for parole. That's not my decision to make.
He ended the court session by leaving it up to the parole board. He says the legislature has not set a minimum sentence for juveniles seeking resentencing. Rhomberg's attorney declined to comment. The county attorney says today's decision means Rhomberg can apply for parole immediately, and if granted, he will be a free man. MUGO ODIGWE, CBS 2 News.